me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know, our kids just can't be left alone at school, and they certainly can't be left alone about their hair. Now, this story comes out of Louisiana, Slidell, and the parents are outraged because the school principal approached their son and wanted to know if his braided hairstyle means he's a gangster. Now, look at this 13-year-old. I've seen gangsters in my lifetime, and he certainly don't look like one of them. Wow, how inappropriate. How would this principal, like if someone look at her hair and say, just looking at your hair, I'm just wondering if you got head lice. Would that be appropriate for somebody to walk up and say, your hair look like you got head lice? So what really got me was this underage teen. His picture is in these articles, right? But the grown ass principal that said this to him, she's nowhere to be found. So I said, I'm going to go out and find this principal. And I found her, y'all. Let me show her to you. Okay, here she is. Dr. Angeline Mesman. She is the principal that walked up to this underage child to ask that question. If you have issues with Black children's hair, you should be picking up the phone and addressing this with the parents. You know why these principals, these teachers, these guidance counselors do this? Because they know these children can't sufficiently defend themselves, and that's the position they want to put them in instead of contacting the parents. I notice when it comes down to Black parents, they're very reluctant or just won't do it at all, contact the parent. So if she had any concerns or issues, it would have been appropriate to take that up with his mother or father or both of them. All right. So let's get into this. So the parents of a 7th grader at Calvary Baptist School, this is a private school in Slidell. So the parents are paying out of pocket for this school. And they said they were dumbfounded last week when their son's decision to wear braids to school, which is allowable at the school. The principal questioned him about being a gangster. So his mother said, her name is Ashley Thorne, said she picked him up just like normal. And she was asking him, how was your day? How did your friends like your braids? Ashley Thorne said of her son, Dolan, his name is Dolan Thorne. And he said, she's driving out of the parking lot. And he said the principal pulled him aside today and asked if his braids represented being a gangster. This child don't hardly look like no gangster. But let me go on. The Thorns, a Black family of 5 who recently moved from Shreveport to Slidell, Louisiana. They found the principal's questions troubling. And his hair is cornrowed and it looks neat and everything. And braided hair, they said, is widely normalized, and they're right about that. And look, I've seen elderly people with their hair in cornrows. I've seen little toddlers and babies with their hair cornrowed. I have never, ever heard that makes you a gangster. This is the first I've ever heard such a thing. So, anyway, they said this is not an infraction against the school policy for him to even have his hair cornrowed like that. You don't think you have to prep your child or even think of something like that for something that's so small, Thorne said. Well, this is where you got to prep your black child for virtually everything because you know the idiot questions are coming. So you got to prep them for virtually everything in this world. So the Thorns said that they called the principal, Angeline Mesman, that afternoon and left a message with her staff, which went unreturned. The next morning, the parents met with Mesman in her office. So Mesman and John Brown, interim pastor at Calvary Baptist Church, declined to comment Thursday, though the church secretary, after multiple attempts to reach out to them by phone and in person, in an audio recording of the meeting taken by the Thorns, Mesman said she pulled Dolan aside to avoid embarrassing him and said she wanted to know what his braids represent. It represents a hairstyle that you see on a lot of Black men and women in this country. It's a hairstyle. Why does it have to mean anything other than a hairstyle? That would have been my question. I've never had a student wear their braids like that. So you're saying people that have their hair in cornrows have to have it a particular way to your liking? This woman need to go to work and do her job, not all this extra stuff. Him coming to school with his hair in cornrows, I'm sure he did not threaten anybody's life or put anyone in danger that day. These people are silly. They are silly. These folks are silly, y'all. Them folks are silly. So I've had teachers personally come to me and ask about his hair and what I thought about it, Mesman said on the recording. I say, y'all worry about silly things. It's a hairstyle, and that's all it means, a hairstyle. The deeper meaning is you're an idiot. That's the deeper meaning of the conversation. The principal and the teachers with the concerns are idiots. They're stupid and they need to focus on doing their jobs. So she continued, I have seen children grow up in this school. I've seen them change. So I was just checking to see where we are. I just wanted to see his heart. You literally lose brain cells talking to them folks, y'all. Our culture is changing. Little boys used to have regular little haircuts. They still do. They still do. But you also have some in our community that wear afros. You some that got their hair braided, some got it corn rolled, some got it in dreads, and some got short haircuts. The short haircut on boys haven't gone nowhere. This woman is weird. She act like cornrows on a child is something out of this universe or something. How the hell do you get this far in your life and you never seen a black child with cornrows? Wow. Throughout the 16-minute discussion, Mesman repeatedly referenced a changing youth culture she feared Dolan could fall susceptible to. How is he a danger over a hairstyle? Oh man, y'all, please homeschool your kids. This family is paying for this education. This is a private school. And this is what the principal and the teachers of this private school are doing. Most people pay for private school because you're trying to get a better education for your child. My son went to private school, so I understand these things. At one point in time, he was in a private school before I took him out altogether and homeschooled him. But wow. So, hairstyles commonly worn in the Black community have long been a source of condemnation in school and the workplace setting. Last August, the Louisiana legislature unanimously passed the Crown Act, and she's in complete violation of what she's doing. You can sue her now. You can, the parents can sue this principal and the school and the teachers that were involved in making a stink out of the Hair Act, because if they have the Crown Act in place, the hair cannot be questioned. They can't. This principal is breaking the law at this point. She's breaking the Crown Act. So, which make it illegal for employers to discriminate against someone based on how they wear their hair. A federal civil rights lawsuit was brought against a Catholic school in Jefferson Parish in 2018 when a Black student was sent home in tears for wearing hair extensions to school. The parents of the student dropped the lawsuit. Why? After the school rescinded its policy. See, I wouldn't have dropped it. I wouldn't have dropped it. Calvary Baptist School, a private tuition based school for students pre K through 8, has specific grooming policies in its handbooks. Braids aren't even mentioned as a dress code infraction, but dreadlocks and afros over 3 inches are not acceptable. Well, if you got a Crown Act, they can't even have that in there. I don't see how they can get away with this, and you got a Crown Act. So, anyway, let's move on. Within 2 days later of the school year, Dolan wasn't told to remove his braids, but the family said the principal's lack of cultural understanding is among the reasons they've decided to transfer Dolan to a new school next fall. Yeah, because, at first it's going to be complaints about his hairstyle. Then they'll be doing little sabotagey things to mess with his grade and try to psychologically mess with him, because that's what they do. This is what they do. So I'm glad they got him out of the school, but I hope somewhere along the line they will take into consideration that he should be homeschooled, at least put that on the table. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. This is just unbelievable, but these are the things that are happening to our children on a regular basis around this country, and it should not be this way. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.